morning, Mr. Toddy and Miss Pingrino. This is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. This is the 475th Mission Impossible film to be made. The only movies that make money now are sequels and remakes. Indiana Jones doesn't count. Tom Cruise refuses to stop doing life-threatening stunts for the entertainment of his public, even though he's an old man now. This is both a blessing and a curse. I see sky and trees and buildings. My car broke down. I don't know what to do. Did you know cats and dogs don't have butt cheeks? They don't. It's just a tail and then a butthole.
Ollie!
Right. Sorry. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to review this film and give it your best recommendation of whether to see it or not. This message will... This message will make an unrelated fart sound, then turn into the Get Real logo.
Our lives are the sum of our choices. And we cannot escape the past.
Hello! I'm Hot Toddy, that's Miss Pingrino, and welcome to an all-new episode of You Started!
Get
Real.
Wee!
And on this episode of Get Real, we are talking about, well, if you haven't guessed it from the beginning of the episode, as well as the thumbnail, I mean, it's pretty obvious. We're talking about the all-new film, I forgot the name of it, Mission Impossible.
The all-new film, I can't remember.
I don't remember. No,
it's perfect.
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Another Tom Cruise, a vehicular.
Just to preface this for everyone, Miss Pingrino, aka me, has not seen
Wait.
Yes, I'm gonna go third person.
Wait. You said Miss Pingrino, aka me.
Yep.
You're the only other person other than me, Hot Toddy. So I think it's pretty obvious who Miss Pingrino is. Can we blur that?
That's in poor taste.
Anyways, I have not seen any Mission Impossibles. None. Not anything.
Teeps the cat just made.
She's making her appearance. Haven't seen them. Haven't even seen clip-its. Didn't care to see it. Didn't want to see it. Take that into consideration.
But the thing about Indiana
She
Jones
made us
movies.
say that.
Did I just say Indiana Jones movies?
You did. We did that last time.
That was the last episode.
Come on, genius.
No, the thing about Mission Impossible films is that you don't really have to have seen the ones from the past to know what's going on. It's very much like James Bond. That being said, there are always returning characters in the Mission Impossible movies.
Right.
Like Ving Rhames' character Luther. He's been in every single.
I mean, so
Mission
oddly
Impossible
enough,
film.
I do know the character, those main three.
Oh, you knew Simon Pegg's character too?
Well, yeah, because I love Simon Pegg.
Yeah. So you knew who Simon Pegg was. You knew who Ving Rhames' characters were. You knew that they were a part of the franchise.
I did. I
Okay.
did. Which is funny since I've never seen any of it.
No. Yes.
But
I actually forget when Simon Pegg's character was at first introduced, but Ving Rhames, like Tom Cruise, has been in every single one of them.
so all the ones that like I've seen like trailers for, they all three have been in there.
Right.
I do really like Simon Pegg, and I was really like, oh, I like him so much, I'll probably watch whatever he's in, but I just couldn't get behind the Mission Impossible.
It's kind of weird that he's a part of this because he's
like a funny character.
He's a comedic character. He's a comedic character, and he's known for the movies that he makes with his little group of people, like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, not to be confused with Super Fuzz. Which, if you ever look up Super Fuzz on either like YouTube, no, not so much on YouTube because we pop up on YouTube now, but if like just on general in the internet, one of the first things that pops up is Hot Fuzz.
Did you mean this?
Yeah, it's Hot Fuzz. And then the Alien movie, I forget the name of it, where they
which I've not gotten to see, but I actually do want to see.
I've seen it. It's not that good.
Well, I know it's not that good, but that's kind of the whole thing of his movies. They're really not good.
But
they're good because they're not good.
No, Shaun of the Dead is a work of art. So is Hot Fuzz, really.
I'm surprised you think that.
No, they are very well made comedies. They're sort of like this is a hot take, but he's sort of a modern day Mel Brooks, Simon Pegg.
Oh my God!
because he was able to take those genres that people like and turn it into something different, turn it into something interesting. Like Hot Fuzz is a funny movie, but it also has an amazing twist at the end of the film. Like, you know, it's really interesting to watch, and it's really, really fun. And so I like Simon Pegg's work. But then he goes outside of what he does, and he ends up in these major franchises. He was in the Star Trek movies. He played Scotty. He played Scotty in the Star Trek movies, the Star Trek 09 and all those other ones.
Wow, the accent.
Yeah, and
we apologize ahead of time.
Pardon me.
And of course, he was in the Mission Impossible movie. So it amazes me that he has his finger on the pulse.
Are you
like
surprised
this.
I knew them though?
Yes, I'm very surprised by that. You shouldn't know them. That doesn't make any sense to Hot Toddy.
Who am I? What am I?
Well, let's get into it. What did you think of Dead Reckoning Part 1?
So again, I enjoyed it, but very, very long.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm really kind of over all the movies lately
Okay.
being this excessively long.
Well, at least you made note of that, because that's just something that basically we have to live with now.
It's just a thing now. I'm over it. That's too much.
All major like action and dramatic franchises are going to be super long films. Well, they have a story to tell. I will say it surprises me that this one was that long, because this is a two-part story.
Parts. So it shouldn't be this long.
I thought you were going to crank them out into maybe hour and a half or something like that. But no, they're apparently going to each be 2.5 hour long movies.
Again?
I'm assuming in 2024. That's when the next one's slated to come out. But yeah, I was stunned at how long it was. But I mean, that's just something we have to get used to.
I mean, I get it, and I get it. It's not just a Mission Impossible thing. It's in every movie lately we've seen thing.
Yes.
I can't. That's really hard for me to sit that long and to be that focused. Now, that being said, I do have to say it did a very good job of keeping my focus.
It was never dull.
For 2.5 hours.
That's the thing about Mission Impossible is it's never dull. It keeps your interest. There's always something going on, and they're always consistently good. Like Mission Impossible, I talked about this on the Indiana Jones episode, that if you're going to do a franchise that's supposed to be ongoing for many years, you just need to start it and don't stop. And that's what they did with James Bond and Mission Impossible. Two very good examples of that. They started it and didn't stop. They didn't say, well, this is going to be it. And then a few years later, they're like, okay, let's do another one.
Let's try one more.
Let's do another one. Like they did with Star Wars and Indiana Jones. You know, I think that's part of the problem, is that you lose focus on how to make those movies. Or or as a director, or as a filmmaker in general, you lose focus on how to make those types of movies. And so that's why when it comes to coming back, when you come back to these films, you come back to these franchises that have been around for so long, it's hard to get back into that groove and give everybody what they wanted and expected from the original films.
So the same person who made this one, has he made the priors?
No, see, but that's the thing.
Because that's kind of what...
Well, but that still doesn't mean anything, because the James Bond movies obviously haven't had the same director. If that was true, the original director probably be over 100 years old now, So it's just...
So true.
Yeah, so...
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
You just have to take it as it is, but like... very extremely competent companies have done the Mission Impossible movies. Skydance did this one. Bad Robot did the last few, which is J.J. Abrams, which is ironic because that's the connection with Simon Pegg too, because Simon Pegg was in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films, and he makes a cameo appearance. I don't know if you remember this in Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
What?
You probably don't remember the character.
Probably don't.
He's the character that Daisy Ridley's character, Ray, tries to sell stuff to. He's like this big blobby alien.
Oh, well, how was I supposed to know that's
Well,
him?
exactly, but it's a cameo. That was the thing about these cameos.
I know who you're talking about.
They did a lot of cameos in that first Star Wars film, but they didn't want you to really know who they were. Like Daniel Craig also makes a cameo in the film. He does the voice of a stormtrooper.
You will remove these restraints and leave this cell with the door open.
I will remove these restraints and leave the cell with the door open.
I think
Pause.
Yes.
Cameo in this film.
Well, we're waiting.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Mantis.
Well, she didn't cameo. She was one of the
she's
characters.
part of them, but like, okay, part of a character that this is making me think about this. We did not know. Did not know this.
Full disclosure, through the rest of this episode, if I mention any character names or her real name in general, I'm not going to be able to do it. I don't remember their names. And sadly, the lady that plays Mantis in the Guardians film and who was also in this film, I can't pronounce her full name, her real name, so I apologize.
So Mantis it is. We love you.
Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy is also in this film. So yeah. But you say you liked it, right?
I did.
I liked it too. You know, that's
for an action movie, which is what Mission Impossible is, right? It's an action movie.
Of course.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
It was a very good action movie. There was never, like you were saying earlier, there was not a dull moment.
No.
It kept going. I did have one issue.
What was that?
So I get that the girl that he meets is kind of like a thief. I kind of got over the fact that she kept slipping him. Like getting away from him.
That got old.
That got old.
Yeah.
Maybe one too many times because they did that like 4 or 5 times.
So the main female character in this movie is a thief. She doesn't work with Tom Cruise or Tom Cruise and company.
Right.
She's working on her own.
To be honest, she doesn't know who she's working for.
Right.
It was electronically done.
And
Stop it!
She eventually meets up with Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise's character, and they make a pact. Or you think they're going to make a pact.
You think they do.
If it happened once, it happened a million times that she gave him the slip and ran away to go back to do her thing.
At least 6 times.
And it got old real fast. It's like, okay, enough. Like, it feels like they were just padding the film with that particular thing. Like,
because you knew.
Yeah.
Every time he like looked towards her, she was gone.
Yeah,
she
exactly.
had disappeared again.
And
maybe after the 3rd time, that would have been enough.
Get with it.
That shit was ass.
Really a kind of a pet peeve of me, because and then you knew it was coming. It's not like you didn't know this was going to happen. Like, knew. Even there's a moment when he handcuffs them together because he's like, oh, this way I can't lose her. We're going to be handcuffed. She slips the handcuff. Of course she does. She's a thief.
And she did it.
And she did it with the cops.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! When it came to the handcuffs, she did it on a set of train tracks. You could see what was going to happen from a mile away.
Yes!
You knew she was going to ditch him, and she was going to ditch him on the train tracks, and there was going to be a train a coming.
Yep.
And sure enough, there was a train a coming. So it's like there's some things where you're just like, okay.
That really peeved me.
Yeah.
I was so over it, and at one point when they get to like meet the buyers and the sellers, yada yada, you think maybe she'll actually believe him, and she still slips him. She does it again.
It's an ongoing thing.
So much. Which, by the way, should we talk a little bit about the plot of this movie?
So yeah, the plot is the strangest plot of any Mission Impossible movie I've seen, although it is somewhat fairly accurate of kind of how our world is going these days.
I mean,
basically,
scary in a sense.
Yeah, bottom line, an AI and artificial intelligence is now sentient and is trying to take over the world, and he's using people basically and technology as his puppets in order to manipulate things.
He can get into any security system in anything.
Yeah.
But he doesn't technically have all access because there's like somewhere missing because it has been lost. But there's basically like his heart somewhere, I guess you would call it. His electronic heart with all his code and all his stuff in there. And so there are these keys that they are hunting for this whole thing because the 2 pieces of key connect together to unlock his heart so that this AI can take over. So everybody, and I do mean every single person in the world, is hunting for these keys so that they can find this AI heart. And
it just that was kind of a bombardment too. Was everybody was going after him. The girl that plays the daughter of Max, if you remember Max from the very first movie, played by Vanessa Redgrave. Her daughter, she was in Fallout, the last film, and she's in this one too. It's the blonde lady. I can't remember character names. I love the Mission Impossible movies, but other than Luther and Ethan Hunt, those are the only 2 names I can remember. I don't remember anybody else's. And Jim Phelps from the original. And the name of another character who comes back in this movie for the first time since the original. Very exciting. This was very cool. I didn't realize it was the first time since the original that he was there. Kittredge. the boss of Ethan Hunt. Kittredge was in the original movie. If you know how the original movie works, Jim Phelps, played by John Voight. Jim Phelps is, of course, the original Mission Impossible character. Jim Phelps secretly, or is a double agent. He ends up killing his whole team, but he makes it look like Ethan did it, and Kittredge believes Ethan did it. So the whole movie is Kittredge and the team chasing after Ethan. And then eventually he proves to Kittredge that Jim Phelps is still alive and he did it. And so that's how that movie ends. And then we don't see Kittredge anymore. You're still assuming he's working for Kittredge, but we've not seen him since 1996. And he comes back in this movie, which was a shock because I swear I thought he was in some of the other movies. I swear I thought he was in some of the other ones.
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know, so I couldn't ask you.
Was Robin Hood in any of the other?
Oh, you mean Carrie Elways?
Yeah.
Carrie Elways is in this movie as the head of the CIA or something like that, director of CIA. Which, okay, I need to ask this question because you recognized him.
I do.
Carrie Elways, who's been in some fantastic movies. He was in
Princess Bride,
Robin Hood, Men in Tights, Twister with Bill Paxton. He was in one of my all-time favorite Civil War films, Glory, with Matthew Broderick and Denzel Washington.
I know him as Robin Hood. He shall always be Robin Hood.
Well, and he was in Liar Liar. He's been in a ton of great movies. He's such a great actor, such a great guy. He really is, like, in reality, a really nice man. I want to know his secret because the man has not aged in 40 some odd years.
Insane.
I looked it up. He's 60 years old. He does not look 60.
Not.
He's 60 years old. I want answers.
I want to know because we need whatever cream procedure like.
He looks amazing in this film, and that was more of a cameo. He was in it in the beginning and then at the end. And
sadly for me, underutilized.
Very underutilized.
I love him.
Spoiler: he turns out to be one of the bad guys, which that kind of confuses me because
right. So does this movie even really have bad guys? Is the question.
And this is a point that my mom likes to make about the Mission Impossible movies.
You don't know who's the bad guy.
She always
the true bad guy.
She has never enjoyed the Mission Impossible franchise.
Me and her were on the same page with this movie.
Well, because she always says that it's just so hard to follow. Like, it's hard to understand. It's hard to know what's going on. And she's never really fully, especially the first one, she never really fully understood it. She said this one was easier to follow, but I have to admit, even I got lost in, like, who was the bad guy? Who are the bad guys in this movie? Yeah.
So really, I don't think he is a bad guy.
I guess.
Because, so basically the whole thing about this AI is because it is so sentient and it can get into all these things, basically whoever controls the key and controls his heart controls it. So he, as the director of the United States, basically, whatever.
The director of the United States would be the president.
But you know,
let's
all
look at
the bits
chain
and
of command.
But you know what I mean? Like, of all the agencies and all this and all this, blah, 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 blah. So he's trying to protect the United States, I guess, in a sense, or make them the strongest of the countries.
But isn't that what, again, we're going to be talking a little spoilers here. Isn't that what Kittredge is doing too? Or is he trying to save it? See, the thing you should always take...
I don't know what Kittredge is trying to do.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
This is what you should take away...
He's the shady one.
This is what you should take away from any Mission Impossible film. Follow Ethan Hunt. If Ethan Hunt is trying to do something, he's in the right. He's doing the right thing. So as long as you're on Ethan Hunt's side, you're good to go.
Stop tape for discussion.
Because he is trying to find this, whatever it unlocks, and destroy it.
Yes.
Because basically he knows, and his team knows, that if any one person has this, that is extremely too much power for one person to have. Which it would be.
Yeah. And this whole thing leads into the next movie, of course. They've still not found the thing they're looking for.
Right.
So it goes on and on. Yeah.
And they know generally what they're looking
now,
for.
I actually know what's going to happen in the next movie because, as you know, me and Tom Cruise go way back. Here's a picture of me and him.
Aww.
We're really good, tight buddies.
We're great friends.
We're tight buddies, and he's told me all about. So I can't give it away. Obviously, I can't tell you what's going to happen in the next movie. So just hang in there, baby.
Bullshit.
But no, I mean, talking about the film itself, I mean, you can't go wrong with Mission Impossible. It is a franchise that has outlived its its time in the spotlight, really, but it still is consistently good. It's never gotten old.
So,
they started these movies in 1996, Miss Pingrino. We were about to go into the 2nd grade the summer that this movie, the first movie, came out. And this is the 7th one, I might add. This is the 7th one. There was Mission Impossible 1, 2, and 3, then Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout, and here we are. So I don't know if the next one will be considered 8. Probably not. This is 7.1, next one's 7.2, I guess. But you know, it just that's the point I'm always making, is that they've never said, okay, this is the last Mission Impossible movie, and then like 6 years later, okay, we're going to do another one. No, they consistently stay on it, and they make this franchise what it is, which is good. It's a good franchise. Yeah.
So, and the why I kind of preface that I've never seen any other ones before is because I was really worried going into this that I was going to hate it.
Yeah.
Because one, I know you said I didn't need to see the prior ones, but I feel like even when it's not in succession, there's still always little bits and pieces here and there that would be necessary to know. Grant you, probably a little bit more background on some of the people would have been a little bit helpful.
Yeah.
But it was not truly necessary for me to know that.
Well,
for the most part, it still explained itself well enough in this movie and in this movie alone for me to know what was going on and who was who.
And that's a good point, because there are some returning characters. Obviously, Kittredge, Luther, Simon Pegg's character, the blonde lady, she was in the last one, and she is the daughter of the antagonist of the first movie, of the very first movie, and then the lady, again, I don't remember names.
Bunch of ladies.
The lady that
originally sold
the spoiler dies like a million times.
Right. Yeah.
Dies. We thought she died. She died. Come back. It died. Her. Olga. What was her name? Matilda. Hagagabirgabooga. Megagazan.
Michigan. I recon.
Look up. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Yeah. That movie right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you go to cast.
Ilsa.
Elsa!
How could I not remember that?
Yes.
Duh.
Elsa has been in the last 4 or 5 films.
And the blonde lady is Alana.
Yes.
And Paris.
Paris?
That was Mantis's character.
Okay.
That's kind of what I thought, but I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to be wrong.
Sure. But anyway, yeah, Elsa, she's been in the last few, and again, spoiler, she does get killed in this movie. So if you're a long-time follower of this franchise, you may go, oh man, that's sad that she got killed. But like for me, I forgot she was in the movie, so it's like...
But that was actually really nice on my part, because like they still gave enough of like the story that I didn't really have to know those people. Like I kind of got to know those people, and I could venture to guess that there was some background that maybe I'm missing out on.
Yeah.
But you know, the basics. These 3 guys are friends. She was a lover. Enough. I got enough.
Elsa was a lover?
Elsa was a lover.
Was she a lover?
Yes. Definitely a lover. But yeah, definitely a lover. But so that was one thing I liked about it. And my biggest thing for action movies, because I don't really like action movies, well, it's not that I don't like them, it's just kind of hard for me to sit through sometimes. There was a lot of comedic relief.
That's, you know what?
And I
that was really
that.
There was more
very much
comic relief in this movie than there had been.
It doesn't make it goofy.
No goofy moments.
It just lightens up, which action or scary or all those sometimes needs just a little bit.
Right. But it was, so it made it lighthearted enough. It gave it that moment, gave it its moments there, and like I said, it was just consistent. It's another great entry into the Mission Impossible files that I really enjoyed. Everything from the special effects, the stunts. Let's take a bet. How much longer can Tom Cruise do these stunts? Because he does his own stunts.
Jump off of things? I don't know.
I don't know how much longer he can do. Maybe this is the last Mission Impossible. Maybe that's why they do. Maybe that's why they're doing this part 1, part 2. Maybe the part 1, part 2. That is, I said part 2, because they're like, I don't know how much more we can do with this. I don't know. But,
I mean, he looks like he's still in pretty good shape, though.
No, he's great. He's another one that never ages, just like Carrie Elway.
Well, he's had a lot of work done.
Sure, but yeah, like I was impressed with the stunts and everything. It really was really well made, and I applaud its efforts. So
I will say one more thing.
Okay.
I think they missed kind of one opportunity.
What's that?
When Simon Pegg's character is driving in the car trying to help Ethan like get onto the train. He puts it into self-driving mode. Like, couldn't the AI have taken over the car? And I feel like...
See, your movie reviewer brain is kicking in, Miss Pellegrino. Yes.
I feel like there was an opportunity there.
Opportunity missed.
Yes. Because, like, so easily, because, like, they had hacked their comms, they had hacked their computers, their face replication system, they had hacked everything. It's a self-driving freaking car. Like, how easy would that be to hack?
I didn't even think of that. You are absolutely on it, Miss Pellegrino. Yes.
Not that I wanted it to be hacked, because obviously we were getting to the end of this one to set up for the next one. We needed things to work out.
And we needed to wrap up. Yeah.
But I just kind of thought that was an opportunity missed for something to not go wrong there.
It was.
Especially when they are trying to literally, like, kill Ethan's friends. That would have been a perfect opportunity.
Right, I agree with you. That was an opportunity missed, but minor inflection, minor issues there, little nitpicky things, because overall the movie was great. So would you recommend Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1? It's a long title.
Absolutely recommend it. Be prepared to sit, but it definitely doesn't make you like lose your interest or anything. Like, it keeps you interested, it keeps going. So highly recommend.
And highly recommended from me. It's like I said, it's a franchise that doesn't get old. They know how to make these movies consistently good. Even Marvel kind of fell off of that wagon. They're hit or miss nowadays, but like when they first got started, like they were consistently good. Mission Impossible hasn't missed a beat yet. And
it keeps you just enough on your edge.
Yes.
Without like going crazy.
Yeah, this franchise is almost 30 years old and they're still doing great. And I'm very proud of the Mission Impossible crew.
May even made me go watch some of the older ones. I don't know.
There's like 6 others you got to watch.
Oh, that's a lot. Okay.
But go see Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 in theaters now. Well, we thank you for tuning into our review, but now that you've seen it, we must get rid of this video because it's confidential. It's for your eyes only.
Shh, don't tell nobody.
That's right, don't tell nobody.
Don't tell nobody.
So, with that in mind, this video will self-destruct in 5